Good evening, and I love you. I'm Heather Peterson Lockhart, and I am the Chiefess. Happy full moon in Aquarius to all of you. I had said I would come on here and create a video for a full moon release, because this is a wonderful moon to take an opportunity to release anything that's no longer serving you so that you can rise up and be happier and healthier. It's a really good time for this. It's a really good moon. So I wanted to give you guys a really easy ritual that you can do at home that takes about 10 minutes. And you can use that to use the energies of this full moon cycle to help you. So first of all, as always, let's take a moment and breathe. I have this beautiful bowl. This is a Tibetan singing bowl in the heart frequency, heart chakra. So get cozy, either stand up or sit. Bring your chest forward. Close your eyes. Hello, hello. You're doing things to change. Yes, this is a really good moon to let go of crap and to release, just to release old beliefs, old behaviors, but we'll talk about that. Let's breathe. Close your eyes. Ready? Big breath in through the nose. And a big exhale through the mouth. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. One more big breath in through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Take your left hand and put it on your heart. Take your right hand and put it on your left. And say, I love you to you and all that is. I love you. And I love you. Thank you for joining me. Don't you feel better just from doing that? Just from like taking a second to take a breath and connect to all that is? Do you know how many of us aren't breathing enough in a day, especially right now with everything that's going on, yo? Right? We got to breathe. So, okay, here's what's up. First, I want to take a second to say thank you. I posted a fundraiser on here, and so many of you have reached out in support and donated, and I thank you. I thank you so much. I will put that link below in the comments here. I am releasing shame and some of the things that have kept me from asking for help. So I'm actually really grateful that I can do this and that I can say this. And I'm just as much, if not more, grateful that I have a tribe that receives me and gives me the help I need. So thank you so much. Thank you to each of you. I'm grateful for all of you. Okay, so we have the full moon in Aquarius. We have full moon in Aquarius in direct opposition to the sun in Leo. So what does that mean? Full moons are about culmination. Full moons are about fertilization and illumination and all the Asians apparently. So full moon cycles are where things have served their purpose and they're wrapping up. They're coming to a close. It can also be the bright light of the full moon is the light from the conscious and the subconscious coming together. So we're able to see some beliefs or maybe behaviors or relationships or aspects of life that are no longer serving us. Maybe they've been good for a while, but now we're seeing that, you know what, this is no longer working. Or this relationship or this belief about myself has served its purpose, right? So this, and then we have the sun in Leo. So the sun right now, this specific moon right now, we have the sun in Leo. So the sun is all about self. In Leo, a sign that's filled with heart and filled with charisma, wanting to be on stage in direct opposition to the moon, the intuition and the inner feelings in Aquarius, which is the team, which is the collective. So we have two very different themes right here. We have the self versus the collective, right? And if you look around you right now, it looks hot for rebellion, doesn't it? But rebellion is the low octave of this dynamic. The high octave of these energies is revelation, is evolution, is deciding that some of the things that are coming to light are no longer working. So it's time to let them go. And that doesn't mean you have to do it in a destructive manner, right? We don't have to find, and all of these things are, all of these energies that we're going through right now are individual and collective. Everybody gets their own shit show, okay? And the collective shit show is the broadcast of what's going on inside all of us, all right? What we're seeing in front of our faces is the broadcast of our heart and our headspace. Yesterday's heart and headspace. Not exactly in that time, but just to illustrate. We are the creators of what we're seeing here, right? So if we're not liking what we're seeing, then it's time to do some work on our own heart and our own headspace and step into the solution. Because as each of us becomes the solution, we have less of a problem going on, right? So, excuse me, I have a story for you. Let's say a boy has a splinter, little boy has a splinter, and it hurts, and he doesn't want to have it messed with, so he just takes it off, right? Well, a couple days go by, that splinter starts to swell up, starts to hurt, starts to irritate him, okay? A few days go by, now it's a problem. Now that splinter is festered up, filled with pus, it's nasty, it's funky, and it hurts. And his mom sees him kind of favoring it, so she snatches his arm and she says, "What's going on?" He's like, "Nothing." And she's like, "Give me that, She says, "I need to take that out." And he's like, no, I want you to leave it alone. I want you to leave it alone. He protects it. And she says, "I have to take the splinter out. Because, if you don't, you're going to have a problem here. You're going to have an infection. If we don't take it out, it'll get worse." And he doesn't want to have anything to do with it. But she takes a hold of that and she removes that splinter. And what happens after it comes out? Right? Well, he starts to heal. They clean out the wound, the crap, the junk goes away. And then it starts to... the inflammation reduces, the pus is gone. Before you know it, the splinter is a thing of the past, right? Well, that's the best analogy I can give you for what's going on right now on Earth. There's a lot of splinters. Now, they're not new. They've been there, but they've been protected, and they've been hidden, and they've been carefully out of, of the view. And so they're being pushed to the surface right now because Spirit said it's time. It's time for the Spirit, for the splinters to come out. Enough of the yucky, enough of the festering, right? And so it's very visible right now as the splinters are coming to the surface. Again, on the individual and the collective level. We've all got our own splinters, right? We've all got our own. So right now, we're really feeling the feels on the festering of these splinters. And as we're collectively seeing the collective splinters be pushed to the surface, it's very unnerving. It's very scary to a lot of people, right? In 2012, I began learning about a bunch of the things that are, some of the things that are coming to light right now. And unnerving is a gentle word. I did not know how to handle what I learned about. I didn't know how to deal with what I learned about. In fact, at first I thought I went batshit crazy. I think I sort of hoped I went batshit crazy because there's no way that what I learned about could have been the truth, right? There's no way that some of these things could be happening on Earth. It's just too whack, right? Much like what's coming to light right now. Well, spoiler alert, it's the truth. So here I am faced with stuff that I can't fathom, I don't know how to deal with, and I'm like, how am I going to take care of myself and my family and my clients? How am I going to balance all this, dealing with things, learning about things that I can't even process, right? And so I had to go back to basics in a lot of ways in terms of taking care of myself. I had to get real simple with my fitness and my nutrition, and I had to make my spirituality a daily priority as opposed to just like a weekly thing or a sometimes thing. And I had to get myself really centered and really balanced so that I could continue to walk forward choosing the next right step, and able to be who I want to be, while I felt like the world was a shit show around me. Right? And to be compassionate and to observe as much as I'm able to, but to still stay on my path that I want to be on, doing the things I want to do, being who I want to be, as opposing to step off to be like, that's not the way you do it, or this is stupid, or I can't believe, or oh, blah, 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 blah. Right? There's so much of that going on right now. I was out yesterday, and when I am in the collective right now, I have a great deal of compassion. And I don't go out unless I'm sure I can. I have rules for myself. For those who know me from old school, you'll totally understand this. Like, I'm not allowed to go to Walmart around like 3 weeks before Christmas, because people are insane and I don't need to be around that. And if you bump into my kid, it's not a good day, right? So, so I set rules for myself a long time ago. Much like that, I have rules right now where, because I understand that no human being does their best work when seated in fear, I understand that the collective right now is dealing with a great deal of fear, because things are so changing and so different, and no one knows what's what, right? And there's no way anyone can. And so because of that, people are very unnerved. And when they're dealing with that much fear, a lot of times they act like buttholes, right? So when I was out yesterday, I was thinking about that, you know, because I am the queen of choosing nasty action back in the day when I was afraid, you know. That's how I conducted myself. I was the most scared human being I knew, and so I went through life like taking hostages, you know. So today, you know, it's just a really good time to have compassion, because everyone is having their splinters pushed to the surface, because God is allowing us that. Because God is allowing us that. Because Spirit doesn't want us sitting there with all this nasty stuff stuck in us in all these ways. We're like partially living, stuck to nasty systems that drain the very life out of us. And we're like, oh, it's a great day. You know, I'm just happy to have what I have. When we could be like, woo, it's a great day. I love what I have. My vitality is astounding, right? Because it can be like that. So that's what's up, you know, that's what's up. So when I needed constant reinforcement when learning about this stuff and dealing with all this change. And so I made a place. In 2015, I officially created the Village, which is an online meeting place where we go hang out together to learn how to live happier and healthier together, individually and subsequently together. So we don't have to do it by ourselves. By 2018, maybe it was early 2019, I had connected every continent but Antarctica. I still don't have Antarctica. If anyone knows anyone in Antarctica who is in need of health coaching, please give them my number, and then I can say I got the whole world in my tribe, but I don't just yet. But it's pretty stinking close. Anyway, so we all got together and we got back to basics, learning how to take care of ourselves with basic nutrition and basic fitness and basic flexibility and basic connection and self-improvement skills, so that we could stay on our tracks moving forward as we wanted, regardless of what was going on around us. And it is absolutely beautiful, because those of us that were in these groups, we made changes that we have been able to embody and keep so far for I can't say for the rest of our lives, because that hasn't happened yet, but we're still living this way. You know, we those of us that did these lifestyle changes, we still have this beautiful lifestyle. We didn't like lose the weight and go back. You know what I mean? I've been living this way for a bit now. So I am grateful to say that I have been working with an amazing group of women, and we are going to reopen the Village this August. And so we are going to be available to bring our way of taking care of ourselves and living very happy and very healthy with you. And there will be different levels of involvement, and more information on this will come. But you're going to be able to choose your level of involvement. And so if you're one of those people during this time right now who would like some connection and wants to get back to basics and would benefit from just some simple tools of taking care of yourself, then this is a great idea for you. So stay tuned for information on the village. And if you want to know more right now, if you know you're on board, you can go ahead and email me at chiefdessliving@gmail.com, and we'll get you signed up and started. But like I said, more will come on that. But I told you guys that I would give you a full moon release. So let's again recap the full moon in the sign about community, about teamwork, right? And and we've got the sun in Leo, so we're really wanting to bring the desires of our heart to center stage. It's a really good time to authentically be us. You know what I mean? Like the Leo steps on stage and roars a mighty roar. And that's so courageous in itself. You know, people don't really think about that. Like the person who can tell a joke, who can get on stage, it's brave. I'll tell you that, like, I know you're not gonna believe me, but it is challenging for me each time I get on camera. I know, I laugh because I don't look like it, but it is. And so, you know, the lion, the Leo that takes that step and is able to step onto the stage and say, this is who I am, and tell a joke, risking that no one will laugh at him, is really, really brave. And so this is a wonderful time to honor that part of our own soul. Each of us has those desires of our heart that are longing to be expressed, that are longing to be, you know, voiced, and that are enabled and brought to the stage. So it's a wonderful time for us to release the stuff that's hemming us up from getting there. So for each of us, that will be different. So what we're going to do is you're going to spend about 5-10 minutes. Hang on. Check this out. Peach jalapeno homemade kombucha. It is officially my signature flavor, we have decided, because even though I came down here as that crazy Yankee, that's what they would call me. They don't call me that no more. I've been here a while now, and I'm officially a peach. So I have decided that this is my signature flavor, and jalapeno peach it is. It's just the right amount of sweet, just the right amount of spicy, just like me. All right, so we have, what was I saying? We're going to spend 5-10 minutes by ourselves, and you're going to think about, hopefully at this point in your life, if you're partway paying attention, you're seeing some patterns that have presented. You're seeing some relationships that have run their course. You're seeing some beliefs about yourself that are no longer beneficial. You're seeing some beliefs about the world that are no longer beneficial, right? For each of us is a different combination of these. Some of us have a whole lot of relationship aspects right now, and our belief system about ourselves is fine, and vice versa, and anything in between, right? So, but these are the questions to ask yourself. You know, do I have beliefs about the world? Do I have beliefs about myself that are no longer beneficial, that are stepping in the way and keeping me from really birthing the desires of my heart? Like, let me put some skin on this so you know what I'm saying. Okay, like for me, I've held beliefs for as long as I can remember about being less than, or being too much. I mean, my God, it's never in the middle. It's either I'm way too much or I'm not enough. And so any of these extreme beliefs about myself keep me from being really successful or really connected or really good at anything that I'm good at, because I either shut myself down or I don't rise to the occasion, right? It's like self-sabotage 101. So I'm going to take a list. We're going to make a list of the stuff that we're trying to release, that we're trying to get rid of. So maybe I would write down like thoughts of less than, or thoughts of too much, or too muchness. I think that's what I wrote down. I already did this today. I'll share my photos with you later. I think I wrote too muchness down. I think that's what I wrote down. So write down what you're going to release, okay? If it's a relationship, like maybe you have a relationship with someone and y'all just, you know what, it's not as beneficial as it was. It's kind of run its course, right? So you can write the relationship, like you can write the person down, or you can write maybe an aspect of your relationship. Now understand that you're not, it's not a bad thing. You're not like turning the person loose in a bad way. You're just saying that, like, with any of this stuff that we write down, what we're saying is, I release the burden of self. I release myself being tied to this, thinking I have to figure it out or have it or whatever. I'm done with it. You know what I mean? Like, just like you would have anything that once you've learned the lesson, maybe you read a book, then you turn it back in. You don't have any ill feelings about it. You're just turning it over. Well, with this, especially something that is, if we understand or we don't release it. So when we write it down, we're understanding that we're giving it to the universe, saying, hey, I'm grateful for the learning and I'm grateful for the experience, because now I am who I am today, but I'm done with this. And so we're telling HP, higher power, that you know what, it's yours. I'm releasing this to you. Higher power will do with it as is supposed to be done. So you make a list of the things that you're going to release. You can also, with this moon, germinate. Yes, it's fertilization. So if you have any projects that you are okay, let's take these words, let's just pause for a second. Pollination, fertilization, and germination. All of this is about growth, right? With this beautiful bright sun in Leo and the vivid moon in Aquarius, about the community. So if you're trying to birth any projects right now that have to do with the community, right? Or if you want to reach maybe with your business, or if you're trying to reach the community, or you're starting something like that, this is a wonderful moon to germinate, to pollinate that. So you write that down. Like if you're, maybe you're starting a new business or whatever, write it down. And this is just like, like the bees taking the pollen from one place to the next. You're taking it to the universe. You're taking it to higher power and saying, you're doing your part. So those are the two things we can do with this moon. We can release and we can fertilize. So write down whatever you're trying to release or whatever you're trying to fertilize, and make a list of that. Okay, and then take your list outside and then get yourself where you can burn a fire safe receptacle. All right, because we're gonna burn our list. Okay, now start with a prayer to your higher power and say, depending on whether you're releasing or fertilizing, HP, I'm grateful for everything on this list. I'm grateful for the lessons I've learned. I'm grateful for the learning and the loving and the living. And I am. Then it doesn't always mean that that's all easy or gentle. You know what I mean? I love the learning. And I'll tell you what, when I learned the lessons that hurt the most, I learned them long term. I don't want to learn those again. So, so say to the universe, I'm grateful for all of these lessons. I'm grateful for all these circumstances. I'm ready to move on, and I release these to you, gratefully so, right? And then set your list on fire, okay? If you're fertilizing, then say something along the lines to your higher power of, I'm grateful for this opportunity and the passions and the desires of my heart that you've put there. And I'm ready to take action on these things. And so I am releasing this to you. I'm giving this to you so that you can, pollinate, that you can fertilize, put that beautiful full moon on this and take this to the community. And as the smoke, as the matter turns into energy form, as it turns into smoke and goes into the heavens, then spirit carries it. And when we release it, it's the same thing. The words, the sentiment, the stuff we've held, we write it down. We set the list on fire. And as you see those words, as you see that matter transition into energetic form, and you release it into the spirit world, you give it to God, right? And you release it, and then it's no longer yours. And then, of course, spirit will do with it with the highest, for the highest outcome of our soul and all those around us. Yes. So that is a beautiful release you can use for this full moon in Aquarius. Today is the full moon, so you can do this tonight or you can do this tomorrow. These energies will be in effect for about 2 weeks. So if you're not, if you don't do it tonight, don't worry. You can do it tomorrow or the next day. What else did I want to tell you? I think that's about it. I wanted to tell you one other thing just because I wanted to share this. I thought this was pretty cool with present times. I was meeting with my women the other day that are going to be coaching with me in the village. And I was telling them that when we were originally writing a business plan back in the day in the village, I think it was like I don't know if it was 2014, 2015. Anyway, I had this vision of a woman, I don't know, and this is in my head, okay? She probably had cancer or something like that, and she had chemo and was in this close of her life, you know what I'm saying? And she lives in this place that's she has to take an elevator up there because she can't walk the stairs, so she's stuck up a few floors, and she's tired and she's worn out. And she lacks even the fundamental energy to get herself to a meeting where there's other people going through the same things as she's going through. She really needs that. She really needs that. She really needs to have other people that are in the same boat as she is. So she has the strength of seeing other people go through what she's going through and seeing other people who have made it through what she's going through. And she doesn't have that because she's tired and she's weak. And she doesn't have family around. She doesn't have friends. There's so many people like this, right? And so I had this thought, this plan, I'm going to have to get a tissue to make me cry. I had this idea that what if I could get a whole community to come through her phone, that could come to her room, that come to her, and if I could have a whole group of people that had the exact same circumstances as she did, and I could bring the group to her. How cool would that be, right? How cool would that be? And this is a long time ago. This is, a few years ago, way before today's circumstances. And it wasn't until the other day, because I pay attention to what's going on, but I pay attention to what I keep it moving. I was thinking about how, because I reach out in my community and I do meet people that have not been out of their house in months now. And the ones I know, they're all older couples and they're together, thank God. But, I'm sure there are people in everyone's community where they live by themselves and they're stuck at home. The flip side is there's tons of people home right now with a house full of people who feel utterly isolated because they don't have any quiet, they don't have any routine, and they don't have any consistent practices themselves that make them feel alive and all about themselves. So they just feel lost in the shuffle, you know what I mean? And I have a place that helps all of these people now. It's phenomenal. It's truly beautiful. Like I said, more details will come on the village. A lot of you already know about it, and I mean, it's been around for a minute, but it's really a beautiful thing with what's going on in life today. That we can connect on our phones and we can use this technology and our experiences to find strength and to find new inspirations and to find new creativities on a daily basis, and then to share those with others, because that's what I find people are really, really lacking. I have people in front of me every single day, and I say, what do you, of all ages, and I say, what do you have your hands in? And they look at me and I'm like, what do you have your hands in? And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, what do you do with your hands? I said, I can tell you what I have my hands. I have my hands in dirt. I have my hands in gardening. I have my hands in paint. I have my hands in Nerf obstacle courses. I have my hands on kids. I have my hands in vegetables. I have my hands in cooking. Like, I know what my hands do today. My hands are busy. My hands are creative. And there's so many people that their hands are on their phone. And that's about it. And they don't know what the passions of their heart are. They don't know what makes them tick inside. And so these are challenging times as the splinters get plucked, come to the surface, and we're like captive audiences in Technicolor, right? So let's see what we have for a card tonight. Let's see. What do we have? It says, the more energy and tension I bring to my faith, the more fearless and free I am. With a little hummingbird. How funny. I think one of our viewers right now has been seeing hummingbirds right now, like today. Isn't that beautiful? Again, because I know it's backwards for y'all. The more energy and intention I bring to my faith, the more fearless and free I am. Let's see here. If y'all have questions for me, or if you want to get in on the village, you have some time. We'll come with details, but you can go ahead and email me at chieftessliving@gmail.com. If you want to see more about my services, you can go to my website at thechieftessliving.com. I think I need to sync those up. That's a little confusing. And if you have not already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's The Chieftess. I'll put the link below so that I can bring you more videos live on YouTube, and we can create more community. That's what this time is all about. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. When no one's looking and listening, I call this bug that's going around the antivirus. Well, I'm just saying, there's some things that are happening that are making us a whole lot more communicative and more connective. Unfortunately, sometimes the human race works like that. Sometimes we have to go through really rough. I work like that. I have to go through really rough times. I have to have my butt kicked in order to be like, oh, hey, maybe I should do something different. So I'm not saying this is a good deal. Please don't confuse what I'm saying. I'm just saying that because I choose to focus on the positive, I see some beautiful transitions happening in community, and people reaching out, and people getting back to basics, and people connecting. Kids riding bikes, families in the park, you know? I dig it. I dig it a lot. So, thank you for joining me. I love you all. What else? I can't think of anything. Can y'all? I go back in here and read these comments. I will go back and read the comments. Thank you for joining me. And I'd love to hear from you all about how you are doing right now with your families. Because, let me tell you one more thing. In the village, that's what we're working on. See, when we're working on the grown-ups, all that beauty that pours into that cup, it gets so full that it runneth over into all the little ones. Yes. Then all the babies soak it up too. Yes. So we're going to have a lot of opportunity to be connecting for more family fitness and more family health, which is exciting since more people are around their families right now, whether they like it or not. Yes. That's awesome. So, all right. Thanks so much for joining me, you guys. I love each and every one.